Hey folks, this is Riker with the Diablo 2 Resurrected Necromancer leveling guide. This video will cover the skills and the gear you'll want to go for to level up your Necromancer through normal, nightmare, and hell difficulties. And by the end, you'll have a level 75 Necromancer ready to take on an end game build and end game farming. This guide is brought to you in collaboration with Diablo 2 expert Toioiz, and you can reference his written guide on maxroll.gg. Link in the description. This build starts off with Teeth, then moves into Bone Spear and Corpse Explosion to shred through enemies. So, you've just created your Necromancer, you've run out into the Bloodmoor, you've killed some zombies, some quill rats, you leveled up. Where do you put your attribute points? Where do you put your skill points? Well, for your attributes, at level 2 and 3, you're going to invest into energy in order to gain more mana. In the early game, characters can be quite mana starved, and mana potions aren't that affordable. An end game build will almost never recommend putting points into energy, but don't worry, we're going to be respecking later on to remove these points. Then starting at level 4, you'll put all your points into Vitality for more health, all the way until you hit level 12. For your skill points, up until level 5, put all your points into Teeth. This will become your main attack skill for a while. Then as you're playing, once you've eventually accumulated 3,500 gold, shop at Akara for a wand that adds plus to Teeth to further buff this skill. If she's not selling one, then just refresh her inventory by leaving town and re-entering, and keep checking her until she has one. As you're playing, pick up all chipped gems you find, put them in your stash. You'll need them for later for re-rolling magic wands. At level 6, put 1 point into Clay Golem. Then keep putting points into Teeth until level 10. You can keep your Clay Golem spawn, though he doesn't do a whole lot. Teeth is going to be putting in all the work right now. Once you reach the Black Marsh, it's time to farm the Countess. So find the waypoint, then locate the Forgotten Tower, make your way down to the final level, kill the Countess, pick up her drops, and exit game, load back in, waypoint, tower, Countess, repeat until you've collected all the following runes. 1 Tal rune, 1 Eth rune. And at the start of each Countess run, check to see if Charcy is selling a non-magic 2-socket body armor. Also look for a non-magic 2-socket helm. You'll want to buy 1 of each and save them for later in your stash. These will be bases for rune words. Optionally, while farming the Countess, get 2 tier runes and then insert them into a 2-socketed helm. This is not to make a rune word, this is just because each gives +2 to mana after each kill, which will result in some tremendous quality of life for being able to spam your Teeth. At level 11, put a point into amplified damage as a prerequisite to what you're going to put in at level 12, which is Iron Maiden. These are powerful curses at even 1 point investment. Amplified damage, for instance, is going to double the physical damage that enemies take. We ourselves, however, are dealing magic damage with Teeth, so that doesn't benefit us. It does, however, benefit our golem or any companions we may be playing with if we have other party members who are dealing physical damage. As for Iron Maiden, well, this is the whole reason that we took the Clay Golem. Clay Golem is going to go ahead, run interference, tank hits, and Iron Maiden will make enemies take damage when they hit your Clay Golem. This is going to make act boss fights on normal a lot easier, because you just cast Iron Maiden on the boss, and then you keep resummoning your Clay Golem whenever he dies, and the bosses will keep hitting themselves to death. And you're going to be shooting Teeth, don't just sit around and watch. If, however, you find a wand that has plus to Iron Maiden on it, then you do not need to put these skill points into Amplify Damage and Iron Maiden. Just keep the wand in your weapon swap to it whenever you want to cast the curse, and put those points instead into Teeth. Because then from level 13 onward, it's back to being a dentist, all skill points into Teeth, until further notice. For your attribute points, at level 12 and 13, put your points into Strength in order to reach enough strength to equip a belt. As soon as you hit Act 2, buy a belt from Farah. This lets you hold more potions. For the gameplay, again, use Teeth to kill regular monsters, and against bosses, add Clay Golem and Iron Maiden to the mix. From levels 14 to 16, you'll put all your points into Vitality, and then for your skill points, put 1 point into Bone Armor, and the rest into Bone Wall. Once you've picked up the Horadra Cube in Act 2, use it to re-roll magic wands in the hopes of getting one that has plus to skills, in particular plus to Bone Spear. To re-roll it, you're going to take 3 chipped gems, any of them, put them in the cube along with the magic wand, hit transmute, and it's going to generate new random magic properties. Use as reroll bases magic wands that you're going to buy from Akara back in Act 1 for 750 gold or less. If you get wands with plus to skills that you don't care about, you can sell that for a profit, but if you do get Bone Spear, then hold on to that one. Now, when picking what chip gems to use to reroll, save a chipped diamond Just one, if you can. A chip diamond will potentially come in handy later when we're trying to get an IO rune. Then at level 17, you're going to take those runes you farmed earlier to create the stealth rune word. You need as a base a 2-socket non-magic body armor. If you haven't found one yet, shop at Charcy and Geed in Act 1 and keep refreshing their inventory if they don't have it by leaving town and returning to them. Then insert the Tal and Eth runes in that order into the armor to create Stealth, an amazing piece of gear that you're going to keep all the way through Hell difficulty. It gives us faster run walk, faster cast rate, faster hit recovery, some mana regen, and more. Once you reach Act 3, you're going to go shop at Ormus for a non-magic bone wand that adds +2 or +3 to Bone Spear. Very important that it is a bone wand specifically. Also very important that it has either 0 or 2 sockets. Don't get one that has 1 socket. Now, ideally by this point, you're below level 18. If you are level 17 and not yet at Act 3, then shop for this at Drogden. The reason you want to be under level 18 is just so that it's easier to shop for this item. It's going to have a red background in the vendor screen, so you'll only need to check the items that have red backgrounds. Remember, it must be a bone wand. It must be non-magic. It must have +2 or +3 to Bone Spear, and it must have either 0 or 2 sockets. And then you're going to keep this as a base for a rune word later. As you're playing, be sure to pick up all Necromancer offhands you find. You're looking for one that adds + to Bone Spear or + to Teeth in the early stages. Once you reach level 20, go to Act 3 and shop for a Staff of Teleportation at Ormus. This staff contains charges of the Sorceress's skill Teleport, which is the best mobility skill in the game, letting you get past physical barriers. You can only use the staff at 24, but we're going to use the red background vendor trick to shop for it faster before we're level 24. As soon as you can wield it, equip it into your weapon swap. When you want to teleport, swap to it. Now for skill points from levels 18 to 20, put your points into Bone Spear, and then Corpse Explosion until level 26. By the time you reach level 21, you want to ensure that you have reached a total of 47 strength. So put enough points into strength to reach 47 by the time you're level 21, and then everything into vitality forever. After you finished Act 5's first and second quests, you'll receive 2 rewards. First off, a set of runes, Ral, Ort, and Tal, as well as the ability to add sockets to an item. So go grab that bone wand that you found. If it doesn't have 2 sockets, if it has 0 sockets, you're going to use this quest to add 2 sockets to it. As for those 3 runes, you're going to make the Ancient's Pledge rune word in a kite shield. Shop at Farah in Act 2 for a 3-socket non-magic kite shield. Then insert Ral, Ort, Tal in that order to get a shield rune word that's going to give you a huge amount of resistances. Then once you get access to the secret cow level by beating the game on normal, farm the secret cow level until you reach level 25. You're just farming XP here. This is where Corpse Explosion is really going to pay off. Big density of enemies here, so herd some cows together, kill 1 or 2 of them with Bone Spear, and then start your sweet, sweet Corpse Explosion chain reaction, and watch the beef fly. In order to access the secret cow level, you need to get Wirt's Leg in Tristram, so you go take the waypoint in Act 1 to the Stony Field, you look around for the Cairn Stones, you go through the red portal, go all the way to the left, to the west, click on Wirt's corpse, get his leg, port back to town, then in town, in the cube, put Wirt's Leg and a Tome of Town portal, hit transmute, bam, your portal to the cow level. And unlike in older versions of Diablo, you can kill the Cow King now to your heart's content. You can never be locked out of the cow level. Once you hit level 25, farm experience until level 26 by killing Eldritch the Rectifier in Act 5's Frigid Highlands. Take the waypoint and then just go north a bit, you're going to find Eldritch, farm him until you're level 26. An alternative would be killing the Waves in Bale's throne room, but Wave 5 might be a bit of a struggle for you. This is easier. Then once you reach level 26, it's time to respec into a Bone Spear build. Go to Akara, normal Act 1, ask for a respec to refund all your skill and attribute points. Then reallocate them as follows. Put 10 points into Corpse Explosion, 9 points into Bone Spear, 3 points into Bone Prison. For your attributes, put enough points into Strength to be able to equip all your gear, so that's back up to 47 Strength. Then put everything else into Vitality until you're level 75. You are now ready for Nightmare difficulty. So once you load into Act 1 Nightmare, do some shopping first. Your resistances just took a hit, monsters are going to be hitting harder, you want to get some resist gear. Shop for boots that grant resistance and faster run walk. Shop for a belt that gives resistance and life. and gloves that give resistance, and your priorities here are fire and lightning resistance. Then as you continue to level up, max out your skills in the following order: Bone Spear, Bone Prison, Bone Wall, Teeth, Amplify Damage. For your gameplay, Corpse Explosion is your main damage source, but Bone Spear is what you're going to use to create the first corpses to start those Corpse Explosion chain reactions. Then you're going to use Bone Prison situationally as a crowd control tool, for instance to trap dangerous enemies like Act bosses. Once you reach the Countess, farm her for the following runes: Dole Rune, Io Rune, Ort Rune, Soul Rune. Now Io is a rare rune. It can be troublesome to get one, so if you're having trouble, you haven't found one, but you found 3 Hell runes, you can put those into the cube plus a chipped diamond and hit transmute to create that Io rune. Then create the Lore rune word by inserting the Ort and Soul runes into a 2-socket non-magic helm. Lore gives you +1 to all skills, 30% lightning resist, 2 to mana after each kill, which really adds up. And you're going to keep this item all the way to endgame. Then create the White rune word by inserting the Dole and Io runes into that 2-socket bone wand you previously got. This is an incredible item. +3 poison and bone skills, 20% faster cast rate, and then +2 to 5 to Bone Spear depending on what your base wand was, and free bone armor. Now overall your playstyle isn't going to change. At times though you can just spam the screen with Bone Prison, lock all enemies down, and then snipe with your Bone Spear, and then blow up the others with Corpse Explosion. When facing Act bosses, especially in Nightmare and Hell, you're going to want to cage them with Bone Prison, and use Bone Spear from a long distance. Once you kill the Ancients on Hell difficulty, interrupt the order in which we instructed you to max out your skills in order to put a single point into the Amplified Damage curse. You'll need this soon. When you get to Baal's throne room and you are fighting the waves of enemies therein, you're going to run into enemies that are immune to magic on wave 2. Bone Spear deals magic damage, so you're going to be unable to kill those magic immune enemies, but the solution to this dilemma comes with the problem. As the wave is about to spawn, cast Bone Wall all around the area, so that enemies can't spread out. Then when they spawn, cast Amplified Damage on them. Then use Bone Spear to try to kill some of the skeletons that spawn with the wave, and make sure the Unravelers, the big mummy guys who are immune to magic, are under the effects of the Amplified Damage curse. Then use Corpse Explosion. Corpse Explosion deals fire damage and physical damage, so you want to ensure that the physical is getting amplified enough to be able to kill those Unravelers before you run out of corpses. Now before we end this video, we're gonna explore some gear options. If you happen to get lucky enough to find these, or if this is your second character and you found these or farmed these or traded for these on a different character, these can help you out. Instead of a stealth body armor, a Skin of the Viper Magi is the best in slot armor you can use here. +1 to all skills, 30% faster cast rate, all resistance, it's a caster's dream. Mage Fist Gauntlets grant +1 to fire skills, which buffs Corpse Explosion because it deals some fire damage. Not everyone realizes that. And they also give 20% faster cast rate, which is always useful to casters. Hasuru's Iron Heel is a common drop, gives faster run walk, gives fire resist. Sanders Rip Wrap is another common drop, it's got a lot of faster run walk on it. For rings, if you can get a Stone of Jordan, obviously +1 to all skills is beautiful. If you can get enough resistances from other sources and you can afford to drop your Ancient's Pledge, then you can go for the Splendor rune word, using the Eth and Lum runes for +1 to all skills, 10% faster cast rate, and 20% magic find. The Homunculus offhand is a very powerful Necromancer shield, +2 to all skills, plus resistances, and any amulet you can find that adds + to Necromancer skills or + to poison and bone skills, or just + to skills in general. For instance, if we're talking uniques, an Eye of Etlich gives a +1, Mara's gives a +2, and all resist. And lastly, you'll notice that we haven't covered the Mercenary. Mercenaries are close to impossible to keep alive during the leveling process on any character now that the Mercenary bug has been patched out of the game. We will, however, have a video covering mid to late game options for your Mercenaries. Separate video coming soon. That's gonna wrap up this video, but do stay tuned for more Diablo 2 guides and be sure to have checked out our Ultimate Diablo 2 Beginner's Guide over here. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube supporters for making these videos possible. If you like what you saw on this channel and want to support the creation of more content, you can consider pledging on YouTube or Patreon and unlocking behind-the-scenes content, monthly virtual hangouts, and more. If you enjoyed this video, please share it, check out these other videos, and subscribe to join Riker's Raiders for more Diablo content.